Good evening. Tonight's top story.
The mask was cracked down the middle, one side painted white, the other stained red. It leaned forward just slightly, tilting its head as if studying me. Behind the empty black holes of the mask's eyes, something watched me. Something alive. That's when I felt it, two heavy hands grabbing me from behind. I didn't even hear them coming. Two men in black suits had flanked me, their grips iron tight around my arms. I struggled, but it was useless. The masked figure lifted a hand, and the men dragged me backwards. The door slammed shut, cutting off the chanting, the fire, the eyes. The hallway blurred as they hauled me down the staircase, each step echoing like a death knell. When we reached the bottom, one of them shoved me hard into the driveway. I stumbled into the night air, gasping. Before I could even speak, the taller of the two leaned close. His voice was low, sharp, final. "You didn't see anything. You weren't here." Then they turned. The door slammed. And just like that, I was outside. The music thumped again behind the mansion walls, as if nothing had happened. But that wasn't the end. Because sometimes, when you see something you shouldn't, it follows you. I wish I could tell you that was the end. That I brushed it off as a wild story and moved on with my life. But something came with me that night. For the first few days, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them, the circle of masks, the fire burning, that head tilting toward me. I told myself it was just adrenaline, that eventually it would fade. But then, the phone calls started. The first one came 3 nights later. Exactly 3 a.m. I remember staring at the clock glowing on my nightstand when the phone lit up. No caller ID. Just a blank screen. Against my better judgment, I answered. At first, nothing. Just silence. Then breathing. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. I whispered hello? No reply. Just that breathing, dragging through the receiver like whoever it was, wanted me to hear every exhale. I hung up, convinced it was some prank. But the next night, same thing. 3 a.m. on the dot. Same blank caller ID. Same breathing. By the 4th night, I didn't even want to sleep. But I answered anyway. And this time, I heard something else. A party so wild, so excessive, that people whispered about it for months after. They called it the Devil's Dance Floor. From the moment I walked in, I knew this wasn't like anything I'd seen before. Hundreds of people, shoulder to shoulder, sweat and perfume mixing in the humid air. Lights flashed across the ceiling, red strobes pulsing like veins pumping blood. And the music, it wasn't just loud. It was alive. The bass didn't just hit your chest. It crawled inside you, syncing your heartbeat to its rhythm. People moved like puppets on strings, their bodies bending, twisting, losing themselves to the sound. But the strangest thing was the floor itself. The dance floor. It wasn't normal. It wasn't just polished wood or marble like any other club. This floor felt wrong. Black, glossy, almost liquid under the lights. Each step sank just slightly, like the ground was breathing beneath our feet. And every time the bass dropped, I swear it pulsed. Like a heartbeat. At first, everyone thought it was just part of the show. A special effect. A trick of the lights. But the deeper into the night we went, the less it felt like a trick. And the more it felt like the floor was alive. At first, it was subtle. The floor shifted beneath our feet, just enough to make you stumble if you weren't paying attention. Most people laughed it off. Blamed the alcohol, the heat, the music. But I wasn't drunk. And I could feel it. Every step I took, the ground seemed to breathe back. I glanced around to see if anyone else noticed. That's when I saw a girl near the center of the floor. She was laughing, spinning, lost in the music. But with each spin, her heels sank deeper into the floor. At first, just a fraction of an inch. Then more. Her laughter turned to confusion. She tugged at her foot, but it didn't budge. People around her thought it was a joke. They clapped, cheered, even tried to mimic her. But she wasn't dancing anymore. she was trapped. I pushed through the crowd, but the music only got louder. The bass pounded harder, almost like it was feeding on her panic. By the time I got close, it was too late. Both of her feet were swallowed up to the ankles. She screamed, reaching for anyone, but the crowd just kept moving, oblivious. And then, the floor pulsed. Like a heart. One heavy, sickening thud. And she was gone. Vanished. Swallowed whole. I froze. My mind couldn't process what I'd just seen. One moment she was there, laughing, alive. The next, she was gone, erased, like the floor had consumed her. I wanted to run. I wanted to leave. But as I turned toward the exit, the bass hit again, harder, faster, hungrier. And the floor beneath me pulsed back. The dance floor wasn't a stage anymore. It was a mouth. A living, breathing monster, devouring the party one heartbeat at a time. I saw people vanish in seconds, friends, strangers, celebrities whose names you'd recognize instantly. The music didn't stop. It only grew louder. Like it was celebrating. I don't remember how I escaped. One moment I was in the center of it all, surrounded by bodies sinking, screaming, clawing for air. The next, I was outside. On the street. Alone. Breathless. And when I turned back to look at the penthouse windows, glowing red against the skyline, I swore I could still hear the bass. Thudding. Calling. Waiting. 3 parties. 3 nights I'll never forget. And 3 horrors I'll carry with me forever. People think these stories are just rumors. Whispers. Exaggerations from those who couldn't handle the spotlight. But I was there. I saw it. And if you think you're brave enough to step into those parties, just remember this. Not everyone who goes in, comes out. If you made it this far, it means you've walked with me through the dark. So don't stop here. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Because there are more stories. Darker ones. And next time, you might not just be listening. You might be there.